at age 6 and never got resolved still shows up in your current age when you're coming across something that might be rejection, something you want to avoid. Because as you said, that cut right into your heart. That's what you told me. Like big. It's still a 9 when you think about it. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So whether you're consciously aware of it or not, that and other things like it, other table legs under the tabletop, other specific events, okay, shows up and says, oh, avoid, because you don't want that feeling again. Yes?
Right.
Again, I don't want to impose the ideas on you. I want to make sure it fits. It fits.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as a practical matter, then, the mother in this case, your cousin's mother, wasn't really rejecting you. You as a 6-year-old were picking it up that way. Okay. And I would have to guess that chances are it hit you so hard because you were also rejected even earlier in life by parents, siblings, or whatever.
Yes.
And the mother just saying this hit you particularly hard because it was bouncing off even of other unresolved stuff. Yes?
Right.
Okay. So the other unresolved stuff that we're not going to work on today is probably more foundational that we are going to work on. But I want to give you the idea of this one so you can, we're recording it for you so you can use it and replay it and see what happens. So, all right. With that in mind, why don't we do an unseen therapist session?
Okay.
I'll just narrate the whole thing.
All right.
You just, easy peasy, right? You just go along with it, okay?
All right.
All right. So if you would, just close your eyes. Close your eyes and to take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. And then just shift your focus to recall a simple little loving moment in your life. And whenever you're there, just nod your head. All right, good. And all we're doing here with that recalling the loving moment, just as a reminder, is just trying to align ourselves with the pure love of the unseen therapist. We aren't there yet, but we're just letting her know, hey, we're listening. Okay. We're trying to align with you. So, and she's always here. She's always talking. She's always guiding. We're not always listening. So at any rate, shift your focus now. And there you are over visiting with your cousin. The two of you are having an argument. And the mother, your cousin's mother in the bedroom, wasn't even paying attention to this argument, had her own life to live and things. And she just, two little kids were squabbling like all two little kids do, all young kids do. And so her advice was, well, don't play with her. It hits you really hard, really hard. You don't like that at all. It feels big time rejection, even though it was most likely meant just very casually as a simple solution to a everyday problem to her anyway, but not to you, not to you. That's what's important. It's your response that's important here because you're still replaying it in current time. So we're going to represent this response, this rejection response. Oh, something's wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I don't count. That I want to avoid this at all costs type response. The 9 that you were talking about that cuts right into your heart. We're going to represent that metaphorically as an unwanted vibration around your heart. Ta-ta, 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 like that. You don't have to make your heart vibrate. We're not asking you to do that. It's an imaginary thing. It's a metaphor, a way to represent this emotional turmoil to unseen therapist. Unseen therapist sees it, and in your imagination, she's very calm. She understands you're picking up stuff and you're still carrying it around It's perfectly normal for a 6-year-old, of course, of course, of course. But you don't need to really carry it around today. It doesn't really do any good. It's in the way of your relationships, but it still stings. So in your imagination, she's sending a nice, cool, loving, healing breeze towards you. It enters your body, surrounds your heart, ta-ta, 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 like that. And in all that love, the vibration, all that, the unwanted vibration, all that emotional turmoil can't survive. And so it goes ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. Now, let's do that again. There you are. As you're remembering all of this, you get the 9, it cuts right into your heart. You have a chest thing, a hearing thing, a back thing, all of that, just in remembering it. Represent it as the unwanted vibration around your heart. Ta-ta, ta-ta. Here comes the cooling breeze. Ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. And now, Sarah, you take your time and repeat this yourself as many times as you want until you've gone as far as you think you can go. There are no grades for this, by the way. You don't get an A or a C or anything. You just do what you do with it, and we'll talk about it, okay? But once again, here's all this rejection emotion. Ta-ta, 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 the cooling breeze, ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. So do that a time or 2 or 3 or whatever. I'll wait for you, plenty of time. And whenever you're done, just open your eyes and we'll talk. Okay. All right. Well, were you able to follow along, or did you have a bunch of competing thoughts, or what happened?
No, I follow along, and I just noticed that blockage, the chest area, felt much better.
All right. What about the back?
I can feel the tingling in my neck still and the back, but that's been going on before. So, but that probably is just a structural. But yeah, that feeling in the chest felt much better.
Oh, okay. Notice anything in the hearing?
We'll see if I can hear better when people talk to me. That I would have to check.
All right.
Later on.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, all right. Let's just do a little test for now. Okay. So if you would, close your eyes for me. Close your eyes. Go back to this event now, and rerun that movie, and tell me if you're still a 9.
Probably, I think it's a 7 in the sense that I felt more neutral thinking about it. And I just feel the blockages in the neck. So it makes sense. Like I just kind of stiffened it up. But it has dropped.
Well,
I can
okay.
feel the shoulder.
All right. Open your eye. Okay, good. Good. All right. Now, an important question here, very important question, is what makes it a 7? Why isn't it 0? What's left over? What makes it something makes it a 7? Can you tell me what that is?
Let me go back and think. Let's see. I think it's because I wasn't able to defend myself or speak up for myself and tell my side of the story. And I couldn't communicate and speak my truth about it. Like, hey, I have every right to be there. This is not what happened.
All right.
Or, you know.
All right. Now, let me point something out to you. Very good feedback, by the way. Excellent feedback. Very helpful. Very helpful. If you listen to your words, the words you're telling me about why it's a 7 is because you're unable to speak your truth. You're unable to stand up for yourself, talk back, etc. That's different than I feel rejected.
I think there's something else that was under that feeling rejected, but there was that component too.
Okay, but that's see, that's the important. I'm sorry.
That came up.
Okay, well, all right, and that happens with some frequency here, because see, we did not put that issue on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't. We were putting the feeling of rejection on the table. We weren't putting up the, oh, now I feel helpless about speaking my truth. Right. That wasn't a part of our conversation. It wasn't on the table. Okay. So let's try something else. We're going to be test again, but we want to be a little more specific. So close your eyes, go back, rerun that movie, but this time stay on the feeling of rejection, not on can't speak up or that kind of, the feeling of rejection. And tell me if that's still a 7 or a 9 or some other number.
I would say it's a 5 because I didn't like hearing what she said about me or to me.
Because, say it again, because you didn't like, say it again.
What the mom said, don't play with her. I mean, she could have said something else instead of don't play with her.
Well, yeah, she could have, but
yeah.
Again, she's trying not to get involved in some issue that I'm supposing she thinks is just some two little kids squabbling, and that's what they do. Okay. All right. Well, okay, that phrase, that sentence, which is you went from on the rejection part of it, moved from a 9 to a 5. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to do one little more piece here, if we can. All right. So close the eyes. Close the eyes. We've already invited unseen therapists. Let's go back now to that specific event. And let's zero in on the words themselves. Don't play with her. Right. We're going to use a different metaphor just to give a little variety here. Okay. So it's like, there you are, young you, and you hear these words, don't play with her. And it's like a knife into your heart. That's the way you described it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So imagine, if you will, her words are coming out and they're like, her words are forming a knife and they're coming at you. An unseen therapist gently, very gently stands in front of you and just deflects the knife, just deflects the words. Or let's say it a little differently. She lets the knife go into her, but it's not going to bother her at all. As it goes through her, and she's standing in front of you now, okay? As it goes through her, it just dissolves. It just dissolves. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Vanilla. It becomes vanilla ice cream. Mm-hmm. A knife, unseen therapist can do that. This nasty comment, don't play with her, no longer is a knife. It's vanilla ice cream. It goes through here and is sitting right in front of you, vanilla ice cream. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. the mother really didn't mean it in the way that you took it. Mm-hmm. So have a little vanilla ice cream with it. And when you're done, just open your eyes and we'll talk.
It's better. I can see myself kind of shaking it off at that moment. Like
Well,
if she were to say it, like, okay,
well, okay.
whatever.
Yeah, it was all we really did there, Sarah, was just got a little more specific with it. That's what we did. But we're always testing. We're always testing. So close your eyes now and go back to that, looking for just the rejection in those particular words, and tell me if you're still a 5 or some other number.
It went down to a 3. I feel a lot better in the chest area. Like the block is just gone. I can feel that. Something's changing.
Is it still there?
I think it's better because that time I even bit myself because the pain was so strong to numb the pain. I was 6, but yeah, it's better. A lot better.
Well,
It
you
could be
said
a 1 or 0 now.
okay, because sometimes it takes a little time.
No, I can feel the unseen therapist working.
Okay.
Like literally working on something, clearing things up. I can feel it.
How do you feel it? Tell me how you feel it.
It felt like this force that kind of descended and something moved around.
Okay. Not everybody feels this, by the way. Okay. Some do, some don't. You don't have to feel it or not. It's not a requirement to get the result. So let's put some perspective on this. Okay. First of all, you're going to want to test this again tomorrow morning. We never want to be fooled by a temporary result. Okay. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, run it again, but looking for the rejection in those words and the things we actually dealt with. Okay. What we actually put on the table.
Okay.
And see how those things are. If you happen to get some more intensity, I would urge you to review lesson number 4 in your advanced lessons in the course, and that talks about the likelihood there is you are shifting off to some other events. You already told me there's lots of other events before age 6 in your life. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it might have been better to start with something even further, more foundational back in time. Okay. But chances are, if you come up with some intensity tomorrow morning and another time you might test, it's because it's bouncing off of some stuff earlier still. Okay. And you need to go back further still. But the idea here is that if you go back to the specific events in your life that underlie the rejection type thing and take the sting out of them, as we apparently have done here with this one event. Remember, lots of table legs under the tabletop. Okay. We just dealt with one. All right. Apparently we've done something worthwhile with that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then you do another, and after a while, then the whole thing starts to fade. The stings don't get replayed. And the next time a gentleman shows interest, you can go ahead and have your interest. It may or may not work out, but you're not going to run away because of the fear of the sting. That's the thought anyway.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to test again. I'm always wanting to test. Close the eyes. Run the movie again, but this time we're going to do it a little differently. Okay. This time you're going to consciously, purposely look for what's not done yet. So exaggerate the sights, the sounds, the feeling. Exaggerate your cousin's mother saying those words, make them louder. The knife that goes into your heart, make it, see if you can't make it sting more. Do it. Do whatever you can to make it, to bring up discomfort, and let me know what happens. You're looking for what's not done yet.
Well, I just see myself being more stronger and confronting my cousin, letting her know that I know what she did.
Oh,
That's what I saw.
okay. Well, that sounds, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Okay. But that sounds like the feeling of rejection doesn't seem to be very big.
Not anymore, I think.
All right. All right. That's good. That's good. Test it again tomorrow. Okay. Next week, you're always looking for what may not be done yet, but chances are we've done something with that one table leg.
Right.
Okay. More table legs. And the more you do, the softer all that gets.
Yeah, I've been working on that specific event for a lot of times. And this has been very profound and quickly shifted. And I'll continue to check.
Okay. Sure. Well, what you can do now, this is all recorded. I'll send you the recording, is you can replay this a time or two or three or whatever you want. Okay. You could even take it and plug in other specific events into it. Takes a little skill to do that, but you'll get the idea of it. And that might help you get more and more and more out of what's going on.
Thank you so much, Gary, for your helping me just really see the situation in that, because there is a specific event in my current life that triggered this. And now that when I look at that specific event, I don't feel that strong of a sting, but I will continue to work more, and so I don't overthink and overanalyze.
Sure. Okay. All right. All right. Then anything more you want to talk about?
I think this is it. Do you have any other guidance or direction where I need or your impression, so that I can do the personal peace procedure and follow these steps, so that I'm pretty sure there's something else before 6 that I need to work on. But if you have any impressions that came to you that you want to share with me, I'm going to work on it, and I'll give you some feedback, and then get back to you.
You did say something about you having a number of rejection events, at least that you as the child would see as rejection. Okay. Perhaps with parents and one thing and another. So, I mean, that's where I would go. I would go as far back as you can go.
Okay.
So as far back as you can. The further back you go, the more foundational it's like to be. I would point this out to you. When you go way back, your memory starts, you don't remember what happens when you're 1. Okay. Probably. Okay. I mean, I don't. But what's important here is not having the details of the specific event just right. That's not so important. What's important because we're not going to change the details anyway. Okay. Because it's like trying to change a baseball score in the past. You don't change it. Okay. So what happened, we're not going to change. But what we can change is your emotional response to it. That's what we just did. Your emotional response was rejection to this one event. All right. So you can, when you go back to young ages, younger and younger and younger, you can even make up. That's one of the lessons in your course, by the way. You can even make up the specific event. If you make one up and you get triggered by it, it's the emotional trigger that we're after. Okay. Example, you can say, okay, I'm 1 year old and I'm going to completely make this up. All right. I'm 1 year old. I'm in my crib and my father comes in and he's drunk and he throws the crib, he topples the crib over and I fall out of my crib and I'm crying and nobody cares. Okay. I made that up completely. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you make that up, and even though that may or may not have actually happened, if you get worked up about it, that's what's important. Go ahead and take that made up specific event as though it is absolutely true. Work on with unseen therapists, just as though it were true. Because remember, you're aiming at the emotional response, not how perfectly the details fall in place. All right. So that's one way to go back further in time. Okay. Anything else?
Let's see. I'll start working on it. I'll get back to you tomorrow and about the video. And there was one thing I want to say. I don't remember. So, yeah, I don't remember. But
okay. Well, you can write to me. Let me know. Okay.
All right. Yeah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much, Gary, for your time, your guidance and knowledge about this. Okay. I mean, it was just gnawing at me. It felt uncomfortable trying to figure it out.
We want to have freedom, don't we, Sarah?
Yes, okay. It's the freedom. Actually, I remember now. The reason I said that there were more, of course, we all have these specific events that occur, some more than others. And I know for me, there were a lot because especially if the conditions have been chronic, because there's a lot of the unresolved issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And the more you deal with those and the better you get at this, the more freedom you get. Chances are the hearing's going to come back out better, the back thing and then all that's going to start fading because the cause is fading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll get back to you. Much love.
All right, dear.
Gary, thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.